The new Logan Lerman and Molly Gordon movie, Oh Hi, is kinda like a less violent and scary Gerald's Game. And also, as a bonus, no degloving. But does this quirky, darkish comedy work? Convinced that Isaac's just confused during their romantic weekend getaway, Iris goes to increasingly ridiculous and irrational lengths to prove to him that they are meant to be together. This has a limited cast and takes place in basically one location. Now, this is a rom-com that hedges more towards dysfunctional and strained rather than cute and endearing. Now, at the start, we don't know how long the pair that we're watching have been dating. So to hear the dialogue exchanges as they drive to the home that they've rented, and then even once they arrive also, the conversations make it seem like the couple might be on their very first date, or maybe their second. They talk about topics and reveal things about themselves that should probably have been established before they're committing to spending a weekend away together. But then, if they did that, that would remove some of the cringy awkwardness that's built through their exchanges. Both Gordon and Lerman can be charismatic during this. They have easy mannerisms and bounce well off each other, creating some witty and chuckle-worthy deliveries thanks to some decent timing. And despite the awkward discussions, the couple also displays a believable comfort level with each other, creating this duo that we can believe should be together. This is 94 minutes, and it goes by extremely quickly. Some of that quickness comes down to a simple and bare script. The entire premise is the weekend gets a bit out of hand, allowing irrationality and then poor decisions to intrude, leading to situations neither of the couple had envisioned. The simplicity is both a positive and a negative, because while we learn quite a bit about Iris through the dialogue, Isaac is way more of a stranger to us. We get some very minor details, but if it weren't for his charm, there'd be nothing to endear us to the character. But with the sparseness of the plot, we're given longer than necessary sequences of fluff that don't add humor, depth, or development, just time. And it's not with all of the drawn-out scenes. I mean, there is one that involves French toast, and thanks to the extended take, it made me squirm a bit out of discomfort simply because the visuals were tweaking out my sensory issues. But when we watch Iris perform this extended dance sequence, it became boring rather than ridiculous or silly. The filming has a bit of personality to it. The shots aren't locked down, but instead are on this steady cam that isn't completely still. We get a gentle sense of motion that works to put us in the room with the couple, which can get a bit awkward once they get frisky. But through this, we also get a good sense of the wonder and joy of a brand new relationship as they discover more and more about each other. And while it's not a rawness or a vulnerability that's displayed, we can feel the excitement and hopefulness that's on display thanks to just the presence of the camera. As the discovery continues, that's when the story takes a twisted turn and delves into the more darker comedy. I don't think this ever gets painful or so pointed that the topics are cynically approached. It's just situations and actions go from lovey-dovey and cutesy to what was that safe word again? In addition to Lerman and Gordon, there are three other main supporting characters: Geraldine Viswanathan, John Reynolds, and David Cross, and they all lend a hand in creating some strained comedy. David Cross is probably the least needed character in this, just simply because he only exists for a couple of odd exchanges. If his part was completely cut out, it wouldn't affect the story at all. But with Viswanathan and Reynolds, they add some much-needed wit and sarcasm to help carry the story. Now, Viswanathan is Max, Iris's best friend, and Reynolds is Kenny, her boyfriend. They show up at the rental home, and although it is sort of a clumsy circumstance, each of their dry comedic deliveries creates some laughable moments that also work to soften Iris. And that's something that's needed because Iris becomes a minor villain in her story, getting in her own way, basically sabotaging all her desires thanks to idealism and ineffectual communications. Now, that doesn't absolve Isaac of any responsibility in the communication department, but within this situation, he's much less of a villain. The progression of the storyline is very predictable, even safe. While the situation may be a little unconventional, the trajectory and outcomes, they don't take risks, opting for the more relatable and normal resolutions. That's also why I don't consider this a true dark comedy. I mean, it never goes far enough, instead just vacillating on whether it wants to be a rom-com or satire. For what it is, the story is enjoyable, and it's easy. The characters are all likable in their own ways, each possessing qualities that can make them extremely sympathetic or gross, depending on the moment. The script, while basic and sparse, does take advantage of the charm that exists between Iris and Isaac, Iris and Max and Kenny. And although Iris is a pretty flawed character, we do get to witness realizations and then subsequent growth. Is it completely earned? No, but the situations also never get so dire that a drastic about-face is needed. The biggest issue the story has is not being confident to step outside of the routine progressions, wavering between romance and comedy with a bit of dabbling in darkness. This is fun while watching, creating a casual and enjoyable environment, but don't expect it to stick with you or be something that's seared in your mind, beckoning you back to watch over and over. There is sex, nudity, a ton of profanity, and a little bit of violence. I give Oh Hi 3 out of 5 couches. This is an easy date movie, but it could also spark ideas that might lead to trouble. So what's your favorite relationship comedy? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.